Here with Mayson Ostermeyer to preview the 2024-25 Concordia Track and Field season as we record this. Getting close to the first meet that will take place in December. To start out with some background on you, you're from Crofton, Nebraska, right? Really close to the South Dakota border. Tell me about your recruitment a little bit and why Concordia ended up being the place for you.
It's actually kind of a funny story. So my junior year we had districts at Ponca, and their track doesn't have like two ways for a pole vault, so the wind was like kind of gonna be bad. So they got a raised runway, and they happened to get it from Concordia. So Coach Barry was there, he saw me jump. I didn't jump great, I did jump bad. And so he kind of got on my radar then, and then at state I kind of popped off and jumped 4 PRs and 13.6, and then Coach Barry saw that because he was at state and started recruiting me. And then from then it was kind of like this place and kind of like the coach, and pieces fell together and decided between track and football, and I decided to do track, and then ended up here.
Just looking at your high school a little bit, I think we have that you played football and basketball as well. What were some of your best memories of high school in Crofton?
Definitely that junior year state, because like it was a battle to even get to state, and then to go pop off and end up placing. That was a really good memory. We had my sophomore year in basketball, there was a game where I ended up scoring 20 points, and it was like broadcasted on New Channel, Nebraska, so that was a really good memory as well. And, like junior and senior year prom also, and there was a lot of good memories and a lot of fun times with all the sports, and even band. I have a few good memories of going out and doing marching band and just having a good time.
Is there someone that influenced you in the pole vault? I mean, how did you first get started doing it?
My dad did it in high school and in college, so he was kind of a big influence. I remember when I was younger, he was coaching. When we lived at Pierce, he was coaching the pole vault there, and I'd come to practices sometimes, and wasn't allowed to do anything on the pit. I was too young, but like I could hold a pole in my hand and do some drills on the grass, and that's kind of how it started. And then ever since, just wanted to continue in his footsteps and keep doing the sport.
You said you're deciding between either track or football. Ultimately, what made you want to do pole vaulting at the college level?
It kind of came down to my senior year. Football season wasn't the greatest, just wasn't a great experience, and kind of pushed me away from it a little more. And I had a lot of success in pole vaulting and track, and kind of fell in love with it. And so I was like, football hasn't been that great of an experience. I think I'm going to do track instead. So it's kind of how it played out.
I have to imagine that first time breaking through as an All-American is a exhilarating moment. Just what was going through your mind when you had that experience this past indoor season?
I can't even tell you. I don't remember it too much. It was almost like, it was just crazy. I had some really good practices leading into it, so I knew that it was possible, but just to do it at that time was just crazy. And I feel like there's been many times where that's going to happen, where I've kind of shown up big at a meet, because I've done that in high school as well. So it wasn't like I wasn't like overly shocked, but still it was just amazing that everything fell together right at that perfect time.
Mm-hmm. And of course you had a up close look at what it's like for someone to become a national champion too. What benefit did you get from maybe being around Zach Zoner all the time and just kind of seeing how he goes about preparing for things?
It's really helpful actually, because there's a lot of things that last year didn't make as much sense to me, but like over the summer I learned a lot, and like a lot of things that he was telling me makes a lot of sense. And even now that I'm implementing a lot of the things that he said into what I'm doing, and I'm hoping that I can kind of follow what he did and keep Concordia vaulting at a really high level.
Yeah, when you compete in such a specialized event too, I think you're probably spending quite a bit of time with that coach, Jason Berry, who coaches vault. How has he impacted your improvement too?
I'd say a lot. He has helped me figure out a lot of the minute details that can be really hard just to try to figure out on your own. There's a lot of things that I have learned from him and been able to like even help out with my sister as well and people back at Crofton. Like I never thought of that when I was in high school. Or, like I had no idea how to do that. And he seems to know like every single problem I have. Like I'm a little late on the takeoff. He can see that instantly. It doesn't take a few tries. He just like, oh yeah, you're on that one. You were a little late on getting the pull-ups. Just get your plane up faster and stuff like that. Which is just he can just see that because he's done it for so long.
Mm-hmm. You kind of mentioned that it's a strong tradition in pole vault at Concordia. Not only zoner, but on the women's side, of course, Josie Pell's won 5 national titles. What pride do you take in kind of being part of that group that you know people expect Concordia to be good at pole vault?
I think at times it can be a little bit of pressure because when you go to a meet, you're like, okay, I probably should do well, but it's honestly it's kind of nice and like just to know that like we have a really high reputation in the pole vault and like if I do well, it's like just adding more to that and it's just having like. We have a transfer this year who said, she was from Hastings, she said whenever Concordia pulled up to a meet, there was always like an oh crap moment. Like they kind of knew, they were like, this is going to be tough. So it's really cool to have that like just that aurora around us, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the fall is a kind of a good time to get acclimated, get ready for the season. What can you tell us about how this year's group of vaulters is coming together in training right now?
Well, we have 5 boys and there's a handful of girls. I don't remember exactly how many. But on the boys' side, we might not have as like we had a lot of people leave. We had like my freshman year we had Chase and Zach leave, and then Zach Bennis leave, and then my sophomore year we had Zach Zoner leave. So we had a lot of top guys leave. But this year we've had a lot of the younger guys stepping up. Evan Hill has been having a lot of good practices. Jax is having a lot of good practices. Mike is starting to figure things out, and we have our freshman Micah who's getting there. He might be a little behind us, but he's definitely improving. So I think on the boys' side we can still compete to be at that top ball squad in the nation. And on the girls' side, there's a lot of same thing kind of happened where there's almost a change in leadership. But we have Kayla who's been looking really good, Aaron who's also been jumping well, and then a bunch of the sophomore girls and some freshmen that are also looking well. So I think we can definitely like come out this season and still have a bunch of good vaulters, and it's going to be like a transition year in a way where we're stepping away from all the great vaulters we had in the past years, and we're looking for some of the young ones to start to step up.
From a total team perspective, the men's program was in the top 10 nationally for both indoor and outdoor last year. I know Zach and Chris Wren were a big part of that, who aren't around. But what do you sense is kind of expectations right now? Even though I don't know, maybe it's hard to get a feel for all the other event groupings, but what do you feel like is possible for this men's team?
I'm honestly not for sure. It's kind of tough because like nearly everyone who scored last year is graduated. So we definitely have people who can step up though and get to nationals and hopefully get some All-Americans. But it's kind of tough to say right now because yeah, like last year I think I don't even know how many returners we have that were. We have a few returners that made it there, but it's kind of tough to say, I guess. I think that we can still get quite a few guys there. It's just going to be tough to say where we shake out because nationals, anything can happen.
Sure. Just switching gears a little bit. So you're in engineering track. What do you enjoy just about that field of study?
I'm pretty good with numbers and math and stuff, so that's kind of why I went into it. And I really enjoy like watching things be put together. This summer I had an internship for civil engineering, and we worked on this highway project, and just seeing like how the pieces go together and everything that has to happen in order for it to be built was just really cool to be part of that process and to just help when they needed help, and just see how everything was coming together to be one thing.
Well, just the Concordia as a whole, how much have you enjoyed it? What about your experiences maybe validated your decision to come here a couple years ago?
I have been enjoying Concordia a lot. There's the people are really great, and the professors are really amazing. It's really nice that class sizes are smaller than what they would be at a bigger university. Just knowing your professors by their name, and you can walk in their office and they know your name, and you guys can talk and give me questions. They're really handy, and they really want to help you. That has been great, and the faith aspect as well, because I grew up as a Lutheran, and just coming here, I feel like I've grown my faith a lot, just with all the opportunities they have given you just to chapel and praise and all these assortment of Bible studies. I feel like that's also been great. And then the track as well has also, just with all the coaches and the teammates, and that has also just been a great aspect. There's not too many negatives to coming to Concordia, I would say, and there's just a lot of positives. So,
all right, last thing. What for you would make this a successful track season?
I think for conference-wise, in one of the indoor or outdoor, I feel like I should take one of those titles. Looking right now, there's not too many people coming back that have jumped over 16, so I feel like I should either be able to win indoor or outdoor conference, or both. And then on the national level, I would like to be competitive. Wherever that places me, it doesn't really matter. I just want to be able to say I was competitive and I was able to jump with the best guys, I guess.